A shocking clue may have just changed everything we thought we knew about the current crisis surrounding Willow Kane. We have all been watching the terrifying situation unfold where a heavily impaired Willow attempts to put her children, Wiley and Amelia, into a car. We know that Jacinda Bracken is the one who spiked Willow's drink. Michael Corinthos is rightfully furious, rushing to the scene to intervene and stop a potential tragedy before his kids get hurt. On the surface, this looks like a straightforward crime committed by Jacinda. But guys, something isn't adding up anymore. We might be looking at the beginning of a massive, dark twist that no one saw coming, and it all revolves around who takes the fall for this dangerous stunt. Let us take a very close look at the physical evidence left behind at the scene of the crime. The cup of coffee, the spiked drink that left Willow completely woozy, disoriented, and incapable of making safe decisions for her family. Nina Reeves is right there, hosting Willow at her house when this all goes down. Nina is highly observant, and right now, she is operating on pure adrenaline and desperation. What happens if Nina gets her hands on that coffee cup before the police arrive to secure the scene? I suspect Nina is going to quickly realize that the substance used to drug Willow is not just some random off-the-street sedative. What if it is the exact same paralyzing drug that was recently used in the sinister plot against Drew Kane? If Nina tests that residue or recognizes the specific, terrifying symptoms Willow is exhibiting, she will immediately connect the dots. She will not need much time to figure out that Jacinda is the true mastermind behind the poison. Now, the logical step for any normal person would be to hand Jacinda straight over to the Port Charles Police Department and let justice run its course. But we are talking about Nina Reeves here. Something feels off about the idea of Nina playing by the rules, especially given her current state of mind. She just pushed Drew into a lake. She is already crossing severe moral and legal boundaries. Handing Jacinda to the cops would make Michael look like the absolute hero who swooped in and saved his family from disaster. Nina absolutely cannot let that happen. It may not be a coincidence that this perfectly timed crisis falls right into Nina's lap exactly when she needs leverage the most. Think about the intense, burning hatred between Nina and Michael. Their feud has been a cornerstone of the Corinthos family drama for years, filled with betrayals, SEC secrets, and constant battles for control. Recently, Michael has been making aggressive moves to alter the custody agreements, threatening to take full control over Wiley and Amelia. Nina lives in constant, agonizing fear of losing access to her grandchildren and her daughter. When she looks at Jacinda, she won't just see a criminal who hurt Willow. She will see the ultimate golden opportunity to destroy Michael Corinthos once and for all. This is where Nina's dark side is going to take the wheel, steering this entire storyline into terrifying new territory. Instead of turning Jacinda in, Nina might choose a far more dangerous and sinister path. I think Nina's going to track Jacinda down privately, completely bypassing the authorities. She will corner her, demanding answers and forcing a full confession. Nina will extract all the dirty details of how and why the drink was spiked. But she won't record this confession for the police to use in a court of law. She will use it as the ultimate blackmail material to execute a master plan of revenge. If you ask me, Nina is going to give Jacinda a terrifying ultimatum that she cannot refuse. She will force Jacinda to pack her bags, cut all ties with Michael, and vanish from Port Charles immediately. Nina will demand that Jacinda disappear into thin air before the PCPD even has a chance to open an official investigation or ask a single question. And if Jacinda tries to fight back, show remorse, or refuses to leave, I can easily picture Nina taking extreme villainous measures. She might even find a way to physically subdue Jacinda and lock her away in a secret location, holding her hostage to ensure her absolute silence. Nina has the financial resources, the connections, and the sheer desperation to pull off a kidnapping if it means protecting her narrative and taking down her greatest enemy. With Jacinda completely out of the picture, Nina has a blank canvas to paint whatever masterpiece of lies she desires. And this is the core of the massive secret that is about to unfold right before our eyes. Once Jacinda vanishes, Nina will have the perfect opportunity to construct a completely different, horrifying story. She is going to look Willow right in the eyes, playing the role of the protective, caring mother, and convince her that Michael Corinthos is the one who spiked the coffee. Yes, you heard me right. Nina is going to frame Michael for intentionally poisoning the mother of his children. There may be more to this story when it comes to how easily Willow might actually believe this outrageous lie. We have to remember that Willow is already in an incredibly fragile, paranoid state of mind. She is stressed about Drew Kane regaining his mobility. She is dealing with severe blackmail threats from Jack Brennan, and she is terrified of losing everything she has built. Nina is a master manipulator when she wants to be, and she knows exactly which buttons to push. She will plant the seeds of doubt deep in Willow's mind, whispering that Michael's sudden heroic arrival to save her from driving impaired was entirely staged. Nina will suggest that Michael created the crisis just so he could swoop in and look like the responsible parent. Nina will argue that Michael orchestrated the entire poisoning plot to make Willow look like a reckless, unfit mother in the eyes of the law. Why else would Willow be caught stumbling around, trying to put Wiley and Amelia into a car while heavily impaired? Nina will tell Willow that Michael intentionally drugged her so he could catch her in the act, document her severe impairment, and use it as undeniable, devastating proof in family court. This could explain a lot for Willow. It provides a twisted, dark, but somewhat logical motive for why Michael would suddenly endanger her life. Given Michael's history of ruthless corporate and personal takedowns, Willow might just buy into the idea that he would sink this low to win a custody battle. If Willow buys into Nina's toxic, fabricated narrative, the fallout will be absolutely catastrophic for everyone involved. Believing that her own partner tried to drug her and steal her children, Willow will not hesitate to strike back with everything she has. She will immediately march into the police station and report Michael for the poison. Michael will be completely blindsided by the accusation. He will walk into the PCPD expecting to give a helpful statement about Jacinda's erratic behavior, only to find himself being read his Miranda rights, stripped of his freedom, and thrown into a cold interrogation room for a crime he did not commit. Michael will find himself trapped in a nearly impossible, suffocating situation. He knows with absolute certainty that he is innocent. He knows he rushed to the house purely out of love and desperate concern for his family's safety. But the only person on the face of the earth who can corroborate his story, point the finger at the real culprit, and prove his innocence is Jacinda. And Jacinda has conveniently vanished off the face of the earth, exiled or imprisoned, exactly according to Nina's flawless master plan. Without Jacinda to testify or confess, Michael has absolutely no defense against the mounting allegation. That's where things become interesting with the physical evidence that the police will collect. Nina won't just rely on her persuasive words. She will use the actual spiked coffee cup as the nail in Michael's coffin. The drug found inside the cup will be very real, leaving a clear chemical trail. The hospital's toxicology reports will confirm beyond a shadow of a doubt that Willow was genuinely poisoned with a dangerous, paralyzing substance. The critical question for the detectives will not be if Willow was drugged, but who drugged her. With Jacinda gone without a trace and Nina and Willow pointing the finger directly at Michael, all the circumstantial evidence will suddenly pivot to frame him perfectly. This brilliant but entirely evil move by Nina will ignite the biggest, most vicious custody battle in the history of Port Charles. Nina isn't just seeking petty, momentary revenge against Michael. She is playing a long, strategic game of chess for the ultimate prize. By getting Michael arrested, publicly disgraced, and heavily investigated for child endangerment and poisoning, Nina effectively removes him from the board entirely. This paves the way for Willow to file for emergency protective orders and gain full, uncontested custody of Wiley and Amelia. And with Michael locked away and Willow leaning entirely on her mother for emotional and financial support, Nina finally gets the unrestricted, permanent access to her grandchildren that she has always craved. But, guys, we have to look at the reality of this situation. Nina is playing a highly dangerous, high-stakes game that could blow up in her face at any second. Jacinda is a walking, breathing, ticking time bomb, just waiting to detonate. The bigger question is, how long can Nina actually keep Jacinda hidden, silenced, or exiled? You cannot just erase a person from existence without leaving a trail. If Jacinda ever decides to return to Port Charles to clear her conscience, or if she manages to escape Nina's secret captivity and goes straight to the authorities, the entire house of cards will come crashing down in spectacular, devastating fashion. Imagine the dramatic moment Jacinda walks through the doors of the PCPD and confesses the whole unvarnished truth to Anna Devane or Harrison Chase. She will reveal that she was the one who spiked the drink, not Michael, and that Nina Reeves ruthlessly blackmailed or kidnapped her to cover it up and frame an innocent man. Michael would be instantly exonerated, walking out of his cell a free, vindicated man. But the legal and emotional consequences for Nina and Willow would be apocalyptic. Michael would unleash a level of wrath and vengeance we have never seen before, utilizing every resource at his disposal to destroy them. Sonny Corinthos would likely get involved to protect his son, and Nina would face decades in a federal prison for kidnapping, severe obstruction of justice, and orchestrating a malicious frame job. Willow would also have to answer some very uncomfortable, life-altering questions about her role in blindly trusting Nina and actively trying to destroy the father of her children. We may be looking at the beginning of something huge, a storyline that will fundamentally alter the Corinthos and Reeves family dynamics forever, leaving scars that will never heal. The truth could be closer than anyone realizes, and Michael might actually end up behind bars for a significant amount of time, not for a crime he committed, but because Nina orchestrated the absolute perfect frame job. Someone may not be ready for what's coming next when Jacinda finally resurfaces from the shadows, breaks her silence, and flips the entire board upside down.
Goodbye. Please like, subscribe, and comment on the GH Spoilers Daily channel.